Hello, everyone. Welcome. Simulation 305. How are everyone doing? Hope everyone are doing great. It reset for some reason. Oh, now we know why. Now we know why. There we go. Now we're going to be connected. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Now it sounds better, right? Welcome, everyone. Too many cables, too many connections, too many things to follow. What up, Willie? Willie Ward. My DHD won't let me know play my Xbox now. Well, great. What up, Guru? Jackie, McCarran. It just describes it. Penguin blue waving tear. Thank you so much, Guru, for the reminder for everybody. Willie, Jackie, Kiko, what up, everybody on TikTok? Let indeed me mention the website here. Baby girl. If you guys want to follow on Twitch, it'll be LaserX83 on Twitch. And what else do we put here? Oh, yeah. Let's start All right. Let me start the chat on. Thank you, Guru, for always being on top of it. So nice of you. That's pretty great. Stage is open. Porty is in the house. Fabio. Okay. Oh, let me grab my coffee real quick. Very important to hydrate and to drink coffee. I mean, the coffee part is obviously optional. Cheers. Oh, so good. Today I needed a lot of coffee. That happens. How are you doing, everyone, tonight? Working on a keynote talk to basically put all the ideas together. So it's interesting to kind of watch how the full concept comes together. What up, Marcus? Good to see you. JP, Cybertonic. What up, Power Off? How are you doing? Let's see. right? Huh. Huh. Matcha lemonade iced tea. Beautiful. Okay, so let's see what we can get into today, per usual. Let's see what subjects people bring on. I don't know. I'm seriously considering maybe not streaming through TikTok anymore. I mean, it seems kind of pointless. I know there's some people that are regulars there, but you guys can come to YouTube because most of the listeners are on YouTube, X, some on Twitch. TikTok seems to be truly dragging. Like, I have a hard time believing it's true that not every evening the live is extravagant and the most interesting live, because sometimes we just kind of meander and just talk about whatever. But I think overall the lives are not terrible. Let's just put it that way. So I'm not sure. I mean, the only real explanation for me for TikTok is that we are to some degree shadow banned, which does also track in terms of like how certain clips kind of work, considering the amount of people that follow me. It's not an enormous amount, but it's over 70,000 people. So the chances that the lives only, like right now we have 3 people live, right? Which is, again, we started on TikTok and everything, but I don't know how much it's actually doing, and we have to be a lot more careful with language just because of TikTok. So I'll think about it, but there's a good chance I'm just going to stop streaming on TikTok. I'm still going to post clips there, but I don't know if I'm going to be streaming there anymore very soon. Seems kind of useless, but I'm glad that the people on TikTok here now. If you guys want to follow the YouTube channel, be Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts. You can always follow that on YouTube. If you guys are not familiar, simulation talk, we mostly talk about the simulation. I am the laser experiment guy. I'm claiming that I found proof that we live in a simulation, and we've been talking here for a year, almost every single day. So, yeah. That's easier. Can you use a green laser for the experiment? Yes, you can. I would make sure that the milliwatts never above 5. With green lasers, never above 1, because the green laser is also a higher frequency. So you want to make sure that it's not. Wait, what is simulation talk? Is only okay. Never mind. What up, everyone? Did we go live too early or something? Oh, maybe I did. Maybe I only put the description for the live at like 9, almost 10, or 10. Maybe that's what happened. But still, I don't know if TikTok has enough traction to justify. Who is here on TikTok that is only on TikTok and does use any other platform? Just out of curiosity. So let's see. I started working on the keynote talk for this topic. It'll be interesting to kind of bounce some of these ideas off of you guys, even though you guys are familiar with it. And probably a lot of the long-time listeners would also be familiar with my ideas about these things. So I don't know to what extent any of this would be like super surprising to you. But it will be interesting to just kind of walk through everything, Normally me, but switch to YouTube for you sometimes. Oh, appreciate it, KD. What is your handle on YouTube, by the way? Am I coming to Arkansas anytime soon? Thank you for the very lovely question. Apothecary arts. Not that I know, but a lot of people ask me to kind of do this little, almost like a traveling show in which I go and talk and things like this. So who knows? Maybe at some point. Stephanie's fine. Would love to host you. Oh, well, thank you, Stephanie. Sure. I can maybe think about how this can might look like in terms of me kind of going places and things like this. If this is something that you're serious about, maybe just email me, dangoprox@gmail.com. 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 And let's talk about it. Let's see what this might look like. It's pizza to you. Oh, cool. Why is that? Do you have like pizza place or something? Need to tour festivals with laser setup to it. Yeah, I mean, again, exposure. I don't want to sound like a pompous ass, but it's just exposure is not really the main thing that I'm seeking. It's good to have awareness around it because it helps kind of propel the project. There's no question about it, and I'm deeply grateful for the audience that is always showing up. Don't get me wrong, but just push the publicity for the sake of publicity is not something I'm trying to do. Simply because there's not much more that I can say currently, so I'm allowing things to unfold in an organic way. And if anything, I'm slowly honing in on the central ideas around what I think this is and how we should address all of this, because I know the moment will come that people will kind of be looking for more answers. So to just create a lot of awareness, uh, manufacture much more awareness. I don't know if it's a healthy thing currently. I think the movie will definitely put a lot of attention on the project anyway. So currently, I'm not really pushing. I did recently go to an event in France in which I was presenting this, and it was lovely. It was a 3-day workshop that I did, and it was really great. But yeah, I'm not trying to push the exposure so much. I am interested, though, to engage with people more and bring value in terms of the kinds of ideas that we should adopt for the 21st century, which I think are better than others. Let's just put it that way. And I think that every day the world is showing that it direly needs new and good ideas that propel people towards more connection, genuine connection, ethical way of being, and excitement about the future at the same time, and also excitement about the connection. Currently, people, as I'm sure you know, are at each other's throats about everything. It looks like some people, their minds are just consumed by internet viruses to such an extent that they just speak in slogans. And that, by the way, I'm not even necessarily talking about any particular topic, even though some are more obvious than others. But the second that you see people coming and start talking in slogans, there's no more person there. It's just that's it. That's the mind is fully consumed. I've now reached that conclusion. So like if somebody just rah-rahing around things and they just throw in slogans and they're not interested in engaging in any formal conversation, they're gone. There's no more person in there. It's a zombie, basically. And I'm not even kidding. There's no more personality in there. It's sad, and I'm seeing people that I know that are going through this, and it's kind of, but I'm trying to think of good ways to help people come back and first of all connect back to themselves and to other people. So if I can bring value around that, plus talking about what we think is going on with the laser, that would be a good bonus. Human form of AI slope. Exactly. Yes. Human first is my new campaign by Core. Human first. And to be clear, again, I do feel that I need to clarify because some people think it means I'm saying that it means humans before everything else. No, it means treating everything, including ourselves and each other, as a human first, before political opinions, before ideas you have about the world. Human first. The kind of respect that you would like to get from your family members and love, this is the kind of way that we should be treating each other. Do I think the molecule helps with the PTSD? It's a hard question, and I don't know. Hold on. We have some data on these questions about PTSD. So, as far as we know, and TikTok is very problematic when it comes to these things, so I'm going to have to speak around it. For PTSD, as far as we know from actual research from literature, M is the most effective. I don't know how to say it without saying all the letters, but because TikTok is really strange about this stuff. But M is probably the best. The molecule of love, just put it that way. Research shows that that's the most effective with PTSD. Mushrooms are pretty effective with addictions. I as well, and Iboga I heard is pretty good. I've never done it, but I do know that there's some literature on this. But it's not just the substance. The substance is just a catalyst to open certain channels inside of your psyche, and then the proper treatment with the right professionals that can help guide your psychology through it. The combination of these two things, that's the thing that really helps. It's not just the substance. It's not like a magic button. Can the molecule help? I'm sure it can, but I think if we look at the data in the aggregate, I don't know how much data we have on this. Data is still very important. I believe that humans' natural form is to have that love. It's the experience. I hope you're right. Do you feel that the veil is thinner in different locations or had different experiences in certain locations? So, no, it seems that the code is the code no matter where, if you're talking about the code. But maybe there's something else. What's up, Daniel? T, beautiful. Jay saying, I've relished this too. Sadly, the majority are beyond any sort of logical reasoning and discourse. Yeah, it seems that way. Again, I spoke about this. You guys probably saw the video. If you're on TikTok, you probably didn't see it, but you can watch it on Instagram, Danny Goller, or on YouTube, Dango Thoughts. I have the short video that I released after what happened with Charlie Kirk, and I just, just shared my sadness for the situation, which I think it's a normal thing to do. It doesn't really matter if you agree or not agree with the person. It's like it's a terrible situation. And the amount of people, they came up with just like hate and like it's just forget about the people that just celebrate. That's just like that to me. That's like true evil. Like you don't have to agree, even if you think the person is super provocative. That's if you celebrate somebody's DATH. That to me, that's a form of evil. That's truly where you lost the plot completely. Like you think that just because somebody disagrees with you to any degree, this was not a violent person, and definitely was not inciting violence. I don't know where people get that from. I think maybe they probably heard these opinions by news outlets, which is what's going on. But the point isn't even that. The point is that if we can't, it's not political. It's human. That's why started talking about human first, because if you can't set aside your politics to see the humanity in others, there is no world in which this is sustainable. You have to always think about what certain attitudes and ideas lead to over time. If everybody going to keep doing this, there is no world in which we're just going to keep using this attitude and also go to space and explore and all of that. You can't collaborate like that. Imagine this happens inside of a closed spaceship, let's say, So, what up, Ellipsian? Yeah, the code is the same everywhere. Etienne saying, psychedelics and trauma are very dangerous. In my experience, one must understand psychology first, else one can sink. Yeah, there's real dangers. There's no question that this is correct. Do you know how to program? What's your past work experience? Why do you think they showed the console to you? Great questions. Yeah, I know to some degree. I mean, I know some Python and some JavaScript, By no means I think this is equivalent to knowing how to program. Just kind of knowing how to say words in a language and being a writer in that language, two different things. So no, I would not consider myself a programmer. I understand the logic of programming and I understand a few things. Um, and if you're trying to connect it, like why they showed me specifically the console, I don't know. I have no idea. I wish I would have more answers around that. It seems to be a tool to train certain facets of my attention. I'm not sure. I'm going to be keep exploring that. We're going to keep exploring this. My work experience is very vast. From a contractor to an editor, I used to act in a few things. Like I was in the in the whole Hollywood world. I did stuff behind the camera, in front of the camera, but also I was a contractor that we dealt with fire suppression systems, things like this. I worked as a personal trainer for a few years. I mean, I have a large repertoire of things that I've done in my life. I have a degree in physical training, and I don't know if any of this is relevant to to this. I think my interest in the fundamentals of science and physics that always accompanied me since a very young age is the thing that led me to think about this in, I guess, more rigorous ways than most people who just partake in psychedelics. But I don't know if my life experience had anything in particular to do with this. It's just looking in the right place, I think. And yeah, I've studied a little bit of data science, coding, things like this. But this was more like, I mean, I've done like an actual few months course, but it was more for self enrichment. I always like to know things and understand them to some degree. Psychedelics and trauma. Yes, we read this. I don't even know what DPT is. Daniel, if you can just tell me. Terence McKenna is in one of his talks expressed a person should have a good Jungian grounding before delving into psychedelics. Speaking from my own experience also. I would agree with that, yes. I'm subbed because of Eddie Bravo. Glad I can be here for the stream. Appreciate you. And thank you for letting me know. Eddie's the shit. Eddie's hilarious. Because you saw my podcast with him, or just that you saw him talking about it? I don't know what DPT is, if you can explain, Daniel. And yeah, if you guys want to give the live a like and also sub to the channel, it'd be highly appreciated. I always have terminal intractable chronic pain. I love that the LOL at the end. Well, if I had for many, many years, I had a crazy sciatica in my left side. So bad I was prescribed morphine by a doctor. And I did a huge life change and I threw everything I owned away and the pain just disappeared. They did an MRI. They told me that I have herniated discs and that's why it's happening and I have to go do surgery. And in the meanwhile, they're going to manage my pain, all that stuff. And I did this crazy life change and all the pain went away, all of it. So I know for a fact that if this is happening, it's psychosomatic. It's your body's yelling at you. Now, I'm not preaching because I don't know what the exact situation is, but I know for me, it was very clear. It was literally my body yelling at me. Anthony's saying, can't believe Danny still has 39K subs. Almost like the algorithm is adjusted. Almost, huh? I mean, the truth is, I'm not so sure that it's, I don't know. I think YouTube is fine. It's growing steadily, but just very slow. I think YouTube is a very particular animal. I don't think I'm being blocked or anything like this. I think understanding the YouTube algorithm is a whole art within itself. And usually it means that you have to kind of post the exact subjects around which you're talking, because otherwise, if it presents it to people that are not usually interested in the exact subject your channel is around, it's going to confuse the algorithms, and then it's just not shown to enough people. The truth is that I have to allocate more time to kind of figure this out, and to also start talking about things that I want to talk about, but give more of what people expect. And I've recently not really been doing that. So I can't blame the algorithm. I don't think it's the algorithm. I think it's the fact that I'm confusing the algorithm, because I'm posting things just whatever comes to my mind, and it might not be under the same the same subject. Like, if the channel is about a particular subject, it's easy to promote it. If the channel is like all over the place, which I would say my conversations usually are, it takes just a long time before you build the audience that is wide enough. But when you break that seal, eventually it grows a lot faster over a certain number of people. Because the second you've honed in that amount of interaction with that wide of a network, now you're actually bringing people from all domains. I don't think it's the algorithm with YouTube. I think it's just the way that I've been posting, and also the fact that I wasn't really posting very often, just kind of doing these lives. But I appreciate the sentiment. Possibly your life path with body work is relevant. I think mind and body are closely linked. Must have a good body to do deep psychedelics work. I agree. Good body, straight spine. Oh man, I need a straighter spine for sure. They have this thing now that kind of buzzes your neck. Maybe I'll get that one. Watch your episode on, look into it. Oh, cool. Well, I appreciate it. Are you also Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy? Sold Out is saying, I think part of Google's algorithm will give weight to people who provide useful info about niche topics. Twitter is doing it now too. Oh, cool. All the podcasts are now. What's up, Derry? Changed my routines? Funkworm is asking. What do you mean by that? Also, thank you so much, all the gifters on TikTok. I appreciate you. If you guys want to goose the like button, I would appreciate it. More likes definitely helps the channel grow. So thank you. If you go too broad, it breaks. Yeah, I mean, again, eventually it will connect. So I'm not really playing the advertisement game, and it's not because I have some kind of a weird snobbish rule around. No, my channel will grow, organically. If people like it, they'll like it. No, I get it. Like, you still have to understand what you're doing, but I don't have the capacity. Like, there's so many things happening that I just can't find the time in the day to really focus on that. But I'm slowly starting to kind of like put things more around that, and I'm going to start recording maybe daily or semi-daily little clips that kind of talk about a lot of stuff I'm talking in lives, to draw other people in and explain why certain subjects that people bring up. Like, for example, I'm very aware, people come to the channel. Like, I have no qualms about any of this. Like, I appreciate the people that are always showing up. But when people coming to the channel, they come for a particular reason, right? They're interested in something. If I don't give them that particular something, I can't blame them for not coming back or not wanting to come kind of tune in every day. I think most of the crowd that shows up on a daily basis, they just kind of like hearing me, and then just kind of, sometimes we just kind of sit here and chill, and they just like passing the time this way. And I deeply appreciate that. But people who want to come and listen, this subject sounds wild. So people immediately assume that I'm just going to give them this super high edge, wild content all the time. And it's just not who I am. I'm actually very conservative when it comes to information and what we know and what we don't know. Even though what I'm proposing is pretty wild and out there, I know how I got there, and it wasn't by thinking like in incoherent ways. Like, it's definitely thinking outside the box, but not incoherently. And I think a lot of people that are just like into just full force UFOs or the occult, or they're into just ascension to 5D, and it's like, that's just not me. That's not who I am. So they come because they think the subject matter kind of is around there. So they're like, "Ooh, we're gonna get that," and they don't get that, so they don't want to come back. That's not my audience. And I the worst thing I can possibly imagine is start catering to subjects to bring more people in and just stay there. I'm gonna have to start talking about things that I A, don't care about that much, and B, it's like imprisoned. Like I'm gonna be imprisoned in needing to produce content I don't want to produce. So slowly but surely, I will find a way to make the subjects that I really love much more entertaining. And maybe the process is longer than I expected it, like inside of me. But I'm sure that the moment will come and it will all click. And the second I start producing that, then I think the channel will just immediately explode. But that's everything has its time. So I'm not really, the point that I'm making is that I'm going to keep doing it in the way that feels natural. And if I have all of a sudden a brilliant idea of how to bring it about in a way that I don't have to compromise of what I have to talk about, and again, it has nothing to do with ego. It's just like I don't want to sit every evening and think about how to produce videos. Like YouTube now has these AI tools that are wonderful. They kind of tell you what is it that people want to hear from me, which is great. But then very often it's subjects that I don't necessarily want to talk about, or that I feel that I don't really have anything new to say. So I can kind of sit there and kind of like say the same thing again in a new, interesting way. But I don't want to do that. I only want to say in videos, like lives is different, but if in videos I would have put out a video that says something new. So yeah, I don't, it's the worst nightmare to need on a daily basis cater to a crowd, to people who want you to talk about things you don't want to talk about. That's, I don't want to fall in that. And I don't care how much longer it's going to take me to make the channel the scale that it needs to be, but I can't compromise on that. Somebody said I look like Jesus. I'll take it as a compliment. Thank you, Jake. Have you tried videoing the invisible code somehow? Yes. The data is incomplete. It's hard for us to know, but we'll definitely. This is actually, it's a good thing you're bringing it up because we're going to be running tests soon. I want to try this. Massive fan of Eddie. Awesome. Love the endless topics here. Only so much can be discussed about the laser. Exactly. Experiments in the code. Changa, I personally actually didn't see it on Changa, but it might be because I didn't have enough in my system. It seems that most, if not all, tryptamines work. And what we were surprised is that even 5-MeO produced the code in its full glory. So even sharper than anything else. Happy Hollow Shroom saying, even if you provide daily, sometimes people just flow in and out. There are creators that I know interact with less. Just like a friend I still enjoy, but rarely see. Thank you for the input. We talk about the best stuff here, and it's great hanging out. Awesome, Terry. Appreciate the kind words. You're authentic and appreciate you. I also need to work on my promotion. Lots of ideas to create, especially with AI. Maybe some psychedelics, travel, vlogs, LOL. Yeah, and it's really funny because one of the... Thank you, Terry. One of the things that is interesting to me is that this is one of these topics that I'm not that interested in. That is really surprising to people, and of course, I understand that it's surprising. I don't care that much about psychedelics. So I because how should I say this? It feels like I've graduated from psychedelics. Like it feels like I'm like I've done. I have PhD in psychedelics, like in doing them, like truly. So my mind is now looking for the motifs in psychedelics that are universal. So whatever is true about what is possible on psychedelics must be true in some other way that is not bound by an external substance. Now, it does not mean that I don't think that these things are not an important tool. It's just that the topic, specifically the topic of psychedelics, so the way that people glorify them as the main thing, to me seems to be missing the point, because you're limiting yourself to that particular substance and you're not asking the deeper question, which is what is it about the substance that does that does that to you, and what is it that is being done to you? Like, that's the question. What is being open? That's the question. So people would say, very often people would say, yo, no, I can open these channels without any substances, no problem. And maybe even a lot of people can, but that also doesn't touch it. See, that's also not exactly true, because no, I don't agree. Like, I've done, I'm a meditator. I've done a lot of breath work in my life. When you ask people who are like experts in breath work and you really ask them, it's like, wait, hold on. Can you actually get to like a full on molecule level experience? And at first they're going to say, oh yeah. And then you go, hold on. Let's look into this. You mean with the visuals and everything, like straight up, like digital worlds and all of that? And then they would go, oh no, I mean, no. But like, I'm like, okay, so why are you saying yes? Why did you say yes this first time? So no, the answer is no. And this is where people kind of lose it, because people are very hyperbolic. I'm interested in what is true about the world. And sometimes that means taking a step back and actually taking the slower route, but figuring it out for real. Because whatever it is, it really is. And when you find that, I mean, the world can yell and shout the other thing and the other and say you're wrong, and it doesn't matter. This is a line. This is one of my favorite Terence McKenna quotes. When you're right, you're a majority of one. When you're right, you're a majority of one. And we're not talking about righteous indignation or, the feeling of like, oh, no, you guys are all wrong and I'm brave for standing here. No, it's not what I mean. When you're right, when you truly are right about what you know and you know why you know it, everybody can say whatever they want. They're wrong if they're saying anything else than what in fact is going on. That is real power. Again, not power in the sense of control, but like that is true. The magnificence of knowledge is that when you know something truly, nothing can take it away. When you know something in your heart of hearts, right? That's what I'm looking for. That connection with the world that tracks what in fact is going on. And that you can use many different frames to get to the same knowledge piece, but they're not all equal. And they're not all going to get you as far. And very often they're interchangeable, and you have to bounce between different frames and different models to get to something. Will you be uploading a video of the invisible code at any time? I mean, if you record any laser, you will have the video, I guess. What up, Johnny? Mike Tyson podcast would be so cool to see. He talks about the toad a lot. Yeah. McKenna'd out. No, I'm never McKenna'd out. Here's the thing. McKenna was not about psychedelics. This is something that I think a lot of people don't understand. He was not about psychedelics. Psychedelics were a tool that he was using to say that there's something in this world that is deeply misunderstood by most of society and science. But again, the deeper thing that Terence was about was the understanding of the world. I'm never McKenna'd out. McKenna is one of my greatest heroes, if not my greatest hero. But I'm psychedelic out for sure. Like this new renaissance now, which is wonderful because I do want more people to discover these possibilities for themselves. But the second you say mushrooms saved me, so mushrooms, it's not the mushrooms. The mushrooms are a tool through which the portals were open, the channels were open. It's the channels that saved you. It's your own psyche engaging with these channels that saved you. The mushrooms are just a symbol. So that is where there's a danger to actually kind of miss the point. Can I see the code whenever I want? No, only on the molecule. But regardless, Mike Tyson's podcast would be really cool. I think you're a seeker of truth. The kind of trap, they teach a lesson and you don't go back to your teacher every time you need to approach whatever subject. If you can clarify, Johnny, I'm not sure that I'm fully following what you're trying to say. And by the way, if you guys want to come on and chat on Discord, you can find Discord on the main YouTube channel and the link tree and TikTok. And you can come to the stage that is open now. If you want to bring up any subject, we can chat about it. What's up, Daniel? How are you, brother? I have a similar idea where I feel like I ask the universe to help me out using the same energy. I don't need a trip anymore unless I'm called to, but I'm waiting to see if my crypto journey works. Nice. Thank you, Guru, for providing these links. So can you see the code if you watch a video of the laser, or do you probably need to see the laser itself? It's inconclusive. It seems like you can kind of see it, but not as clearly. So I'm a little slow on voicing my opinion on this yet, but we'll be testing this more. Has anyone ever claimed to see without a substance? Yes, I had a couple of people claim to do it. Actually, more than a couple at this point. If my channel's business name is meant to be provocative in that manner, that everyone asks me about shrooms when it's really about things like lion's mane, which helped my dad doing an after chemo. I see. Happy hollow shrooms. Well, I mean, that's not a silly idea. I think that's smart. My interests are kind of like the core understanding of reality, which is good to see you, brother. 1 second, everyone. What's up, Dave? Everybody on TikTok? Johnny is saying, sorry, I was on a delay. Like if you learn something from a psychedelic, like empathy or something, you shouldn't have to go back to whatever psychedelics to get that lesson again. Yeah, I see them as a tool to help shape a better personality, hopefully. Like, for example, with Aya, after I've done it like the understanding stayed open for like 2 years. But I met people who say I go. They said they go every week, and to each his own. But to me, it seems that if you go every week, you're kind of missing the point, because the whole point isn't that it's going to do the job for you, is that it teaches you something, and then you try and do something yourself. I think that's the point. The birth of responsibility is the point. It's crazy to see that everyone isn't interested in figuring out reality. Yeah, I used to think the same way, but I think I appreciate the fact that for some people that's just not a concern, and they're interested in other beautiful things. Thank you, big AI. They're interested in helping other people heal, or they're interested in creating beauty or art or gardening. There are other modalities that are just as beautiful and equally as valid. Imagine Mike Tyson seeing the code. I think one day he will. Oh, he definitely will like it. I'm interested, but all I get. Ooh, hold on. I'm interested, but all I get is more questions and very little answers. I'm willing to take in all the knowledge I can. I can, though. I am learning a lot here. Appreciate you. Happy hollow shrooms. Base trading. How are you? Is the laser on your site manufactured in the USA? Did you accept outside funding for it? Uh, I'm not sure what you mean by the second part of the question. The We make it here, yeah. We just kind of like fashion things together. It is. I always recommend that people just kind of get it themselves. This is why the first page, if you look on the website, it says "do it yourself" because it's a lot easier for everybody and it's a lot cheaper for people. People insisted that they just want it made just the way that we're doing it, so we kind of followed through. But the truth is that because we're not manufacturers and it's not like a main thing, then that's why it comes up to be so expensive. So I'm not. If anybody wants to help the project, I deeply appreciate it, and you guys can purchase it from what we make. But it's a lot cheaper, and it's the same laser. You just have to do it yourself, kind of connect everything. That's why we have it on the page. I'm not sure what you mean by the funding it. Like, I mean, we just buy the parts and make it. And recently, Carter was basically making all of them, which they're really, really cool. But him and his wife, and so that's all kind of like bootstrapping the whole thing. I mean, we definitely had people that donated to the film, and also we had Buddha here who came and just like threw an enormous amount of money at the movie, and also at Core, the Core of Reality. But we are basically funding everything ourselves, technically. And just want to remind everybody that if you do want to help the Twitch channel grow, please go to Twitch now, and the handle there is LaserX83. LaserX83. Mike Tyson wrote the code. Is a 5-finger partner in the laser? In the laser? No. He's on the board of directors of Code of Reality, but no. The laser is just like a tiny part of, like, it's not a laser is not really an income stream. Like, it's not, how much I mean, if we would be like selling enormous amounts of them, then yeah, sure. But first of all, because of the tariffs, there was like a huge backlog of even the amount you could get. Yeah, it's barely a blimp in this grand scheme of things of what we do. We're doing it more because people ask us to, not because it's like a good way to make money. So yeah, the lasers are a very insignificant part of the operation of Code of Reality, at least currently. I see the code without anything, and I've tried it with a few times with D a few times, but it doesn't seem to change how I see the code. So what base training? So what you're saying is that you could see the code before, and now with D you can see the code, but it looks the same. It doesn't even look more coherent. You love ecom. Awesome. Well, if you're an expert and you want to come help the project in any way, maybe we can talk about something. Um, Yeah, but again, it's not even an emphasis. So like I'm aware of it's not easy to build an ecom business, but it's not the business we're trying to build. The whole point of Code of Reality that is designed to be a nonprofit is to actually bring knowledge to the world, and it requires. So we're going to be working on building a facility, creating a lab. That's the main focus. Lasers are just kind of like a side thing. Was wondering what came of that. Orthodox Buddha was an Orthodox Buddha. Orthodox Buddha is another handle. Uh, no, infinite paradox Buddha. Yeah, yeah, that was wild, wasn't it? You were there, Power Off. Yeah, maybe you didn't do enough. Have you ever experienced the actual molecule in full? Like, have you seen the full psychedelic explosion? What up, big AI? Just going to remind everybody if you guys want to like the live, it definitely helps the algorithm. Maybe I'll do. We'll see. Maybe I'll do a little run of the keynote talk on one of the weekly members live. Just kind of run it by people. That'll be fun. Because this is probably going to be a lot of the talks that I'm going to be giving. Wait, Daniel, I saw your hand saying hi, and then it disappeared. Did you just delete it, or? Not quite sure what's. Oh, you were there, yeah. Not breakthrough, but I did it done where I see stuff laying down with my eyes closed. Okay. So definitely influenced you. Yes, sometimes it takes a moment to see the code, but it is interesting that you're saying you've seen the code before. Even you mean you see it on a regular basis? Like if you turn on the laser right now, you see it. What up, Jeff Paulson? Oh, okay. Thanks, Daniel, for letting me know. Oh, here it is. Gonna bring nope. What is knowledge? Constructive theory, escape of truth, environmental pressure. What are we? Okay. Wait, so you can't see it up close, but you can see it from afar? Do you see it in detail, or do you see just a general thing of a pattern in the laser? Nico, how are you, brother? How is the mini move? How do you feel, brother? Did you already made the trip? Feel free to come on Discord or TikTok. I'll bring you up. To free up space. That is the idea. Well, oh, moving in 1 week. Are you excited, or are you more kind of, you know? Oh, look at this. This is like a cool one. Nico and also my wife helped me with this, so check this out. We got an award. Look at this. Wait, I don't know if you can see. From IPI Letters. This is we got an award for the most read article in a physics newsletter. IPI Letters. By far was the the article paper that we wrote about the laser experiment. How cool is that? That is pretty dope. Hold on, let me put it back. To be fair, the second you put DMT and lasers in an article, it's game over. You know. You don't like the Bay Area? Really? Man, it's one of my favorite places. I don't know what that says about me, but I really like the Bay Area. Yeah, the title sold the whole thing. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, sold out. Um, Based trading is saying not detailed when I asked him about the code, but I can make out the many different symbols. Really? Can you draw some of those, or you already did? I'm sorry if you already did, and I'm just not aware. But can you send me some of those, or you already did? San Francisco is chaos. There's something about the energy there that I like. Maybe I like chaos. I don't know. Maybe that's why I like psychedelics. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate it. Wait, so you actually have to like you leaving your apartment, or you're leaving your apartment and not leaving fully? Yeah. So what I discovered by working on this keynote is actually, well, I didn't discover it, but I guess I was reminded how much I like putting information into a coherent, linear structure. It's one of my favorite things. I'm so. It reminded me that there's definitely something on the spectrum there. I've been in Irvine with my parents, but moving to the Bay Area for an accelerator program. Congratulations, brother, and good luck. And look at it as a beautiful step forward. I think something beautiful will find you there. No, not that much detail. I can just tell they are different. I see. Thank you for sharing base trading. I have a good friend there that I would love to introduce you to, Nico. He's a musician, but he recently developed he has a startup that he developed about putting these like little hooks, and it seems to be really working now, and it's really cool. He's a really good friend. I'll introduce you to him. What up? I love high number 305. Well, hello there, Kathy. Thank you for the gifting. I appreciate you. Super hot lips. That's hilarious. Okay. Let's see what we can. Oh, so yeah, so wow, my ADHD is out of control today. So yeah, so what I'm working on is basically, because the way that my brain works is just kind of like I'm casting a very wide net of just like general communication thing that I want to say, and when I speak, it just kind of comes out. And sometimes it's a mess and all over the place, as I'm sure you guys have noticed. And sometimes it's coherent and fun. Working up my chops to get to Terence McKenna's level maybe one day in 20 years. But speaking like a book around every turn. But after a little while, that very wide net starts arranging itself into all these beautiful structures, and it started to happen, and it's very exciting. So I started organizing it in writing, in short clips, And in this keynote, in which I'm kind of arranging everything, because that helps me write the chapters in the book that I'm planning to write. So, again, I already have a bunch of things written, but like putting it in the format of chapters and all of that. And I'm really excited about that because it's so much fun to finally have the thing kind of forming into something. Thank you, Driscoll. How do you pronounce that? I Driscoll of Munster. Is this something that is like a reference to something very known, and I'm just an idiot and I don't know about it? Also, I'm honored that somebody came through Eddie. Eddie's great. You know, he came to see the code, right? That was great. You're Obi-Wan. What up? What up, Yoni? Late. Well, yeah, you kind of came in an hour in, but that's okay. Where? Oh, keep confusing it with something else. What is knowledge? So it's gonna be. Let me see if I can copy this. Copy. Boom. Beautiful. All right. So let's see. Do you guys have any particular questions that we should address? Cheap. Wait. Chip 3D printer. Oh, you just got it. All right. Well, I think we'll slowly adjourn for today. It is getting a little late, getting closer to 11. Appreciate you guys. If you want to follow me across platforms, it'll be Danny Goller on Instagram and TikTok. It'll be Goller Danny on X, LaserX83 on Twitch, and Dango Thoughts on YouTube. DANGO Thoughts on YouTube, where you can also join the membership program that gives you access to my weekly lives for members only, in which we dive much deeper into topics. We talk about all kinds of things, and we can watch videos and all that good stuff. If you sign up for the second tier and up, you will send me an email to the email listed there, and I will send you an invite for our monthly Zoom calls with members. That's a lot of fun, and it gives you early access to all my content. You can check out also the new merch is on YouTube, so you can check out all the new merch, including the Human First line that I'm really happy about, promoting more of the human component of interaction between us, before politics, before ideas, human first. And it definitely is helping the channel. Get yourself a sweatshirt, a hoodie, a shirt, a mug, a hat. They're fun. They're actually fun designs. And if you, my brain is like melting. Come check out my new show 0 to 1 with Danny Goller, from Earthbound Minds to Cosmic Citizens, on Spotify. Come check out our website, codeofreality.com, in which we have the merch, also the lasers, protocol, and other things. And if you still want to donate to the film that we're in post-production of now, you can do so by finding the trailer on either the link tree on TikTok or on YouTube on Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts, and search for The Discovery. You'll see the trailer. Under the trailer in the description, you'll find the GoFundMe page where you can donate. If you're a baller and you donate over $1,000, you will be added to the group of people that will see the movie for the first time ever. I think that is really, really kind of cool. I say it every evening, but I really do. I think that's kind of cool to see the movie like that for the first time ever. If not, of course, you'll see the film. We'll make sure that it's available everywhere. And please come join our beautiful Discord group where we have like-minded people talking about these topics. You can find a link to it right here on YouTube on the main page, third link from the top in the socials, and or on TikTok in the link tree in the bio, in the description. I want to acknowledge our incredible moderators, Guru, and also Ebony and Chris and Jessica were not with us here today. And Guru is always on it. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for our incredible guests, including Nico, who helped me get this reward. Thank you so much for our old-time listeners and new-time listeners. I appreciate you all. You guys are the ones that are making this channel what it is. Thank you so much for coming, hanging out, asking questions, participating, and bringing the good energy. Thank you so much. Yoni, AJ Paul, and Base Trading, and Johnny, and all the people that can mention to everybody. Evil Icon and Elysium. Thank you guys. I really, really appreciate everybody. And TikTok and across platforms. Sold Out, Terry, Base Trading. If I didn't mention you, doesn't mean that I didn't see you. I see all the comments. I appreciate you guys. See you tomorrow. Peace and love. Cosmic Cowboy. Sorry, brother. We're going live a little bit earlier now because I have a nightlife that needs to be maintained and I need to get some sleep. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate you. Peace and love. See you tomorrow. Ciao. Have a good night, everyone.